Okay, this is going to be your 8.2 notes. Again, when Mrs. Carlucci was here, she went over something that looks like this. It's steps to graph. Okay, and your steps to graph are going to be just as the note says, so you have to kind of remember this. You have to find the axis of symmetry, which we did in 8.1. You have to find the vertex. So again, you're finding your x here. So you find your x, so find x. Okay, and then we're going to plug in for x and find y. In this case, it's going to give you the x, y. And again, it's a coordinate. So where it says put the vertex in the middle of the row in the table, fill in the table values using your calculator. We did this before with exponentials last unit, or I guess before when I was here. And then plot the points and connect them into the smooth parabola. Alright, so we're going to start here, and again I have my graph out here. If you have not done this yet on your notes, I would highly suggest that you do this, because when you guys go to tutoring, or if I ask you for help, or if you need help and ask you questions, make sure you have your notes. That's the first thing I'm going to ask you. Alright, so let's make sure that this is all erased here. Alright, so your first one is y equals x squared. Alright, so in this one you have an x squared, but you do not have a b and you do not have a c. That doesn't mean they're not there, it just means that there's 0. Okay, so in this case, we are going to find your axis of symmetry. So you're going to use axis of symmetry. So you're going to use negative b over 2a. Alright, so negative b again is going to be, there's nothing here and there's nothing here. Okay, so it means if there's nothing there, then you're going to put a 0 and a 0. Alright, so it's going to be negative 0, or just 0, doesn't matter, over 2 times, and your a is going to be, remember what's in front of your x squared, is going to be just your 1 right there. So 2 times your a, which is 1. Alright, so now you're going to be negative 0 over 2 times 1, which is 2, and anything divided by 0 like this is going to just be 0. Alright, so your x is going to equal 0. This is your axis of symmetry, remember. Sorry, you can't see that very well. Alright, better. Now it says you're going to plug it in, and you're going to find what your y is. So y equals, so it's going to be 0 squared plus 0 plus 0, and it's going to equal, so y is going to equal 0. Alright, so then your vertex is going to be 0, 0. Perfect. Alright, so when it says now you have to make a table, that's exactly what we're going to do. And in here you have your xy. Alright, and you guys have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so what it means is that you're going to plug 0, 0 right in the middle. 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to plug 0, 0, x, y, 0, 0. So now what you're going to do is you are going to take your calculator and you are going to plug in some other values. So you're going to go smaller up here, so 0, and then smaller than 0 is negative 1, negative 2. Bigger than 0 is going to be 1 and 2, and these are the ones you're going to put on your calculator. Alright. So if you have your calculator, like I do, you're going to just plug in what you have for your equation, y equals x squared. So instead of x, remember, we're going to plug in these different values here. I'm going to plug in negative 2. I'm substituting in, so again, it's going to go in parentheses. So parentheses, negative 2, close it, and then it's going to be squared, equals. And that one's going to give me 4. Okay, now to get the same exact thing back without having to re-enter, you want to push second enter, backspace, and then I'm going to push -1, enter, and it's going to give me 1. Second enter, backspace. I don't want this negative anymore. I'm going to delete that. So now it's just going to be 1 squared, and it's going to give me 1. And then second enter, backspace, and then 2. And it's going to give me 4. Now you should notice that here it's going to be your middle or your divider, and these two are going to be the same, and these two are going to be the same. Okay, because you have a parabola. So now it says to graph it, and you're going to graph it. So you're going to graph 0, 0, which is right here. So -1, 1, -1, 1, -2, 4, -1, 2, up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Other way, 1, 1, positive 1, 1, positive 2, 1, 2, up 4. And there's your parabola. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. Let's do another one. Again, I'm still in your notes. So again, if you don't have the notes, please go down in the Google Classroom and download it. It's going to be under materials. All right, let's do x squared plus 2x minus 1. Again, whatever your x, your A, your B, and your C. Okay. So you want to find your vertex, sorry, your axis of symmetry first. So x equals -b over 2a. Sorry, can't see it again. All right, again, -b, the opposite of +2 is going to be -2 over 2 times whatever your a is, which is 1. -2 over 2, so -2 over 2, which is going to give you -1. Plug it in to your equation. So again, now you have y equals -1 in parentheses squared plus 2 -1 in parentheses minus 1. Plug this into your calculator. Parentheses, -1. Close it, squared, plus 2, parentheses, -1, close it, minus 1. Gives you -2. So y equals -2. So now you have -1, -2. So there's your coordinate, which is your axis of symmetry in your vertex. So your vertex is going to be right in the middle. So again, make my graph xy. Alright, so you have -1 from earlier. So -1, -2. Now, to make your table, from -1 you're going to go less than that. -2, -3. More than -1, 0, 1. Now you're going to plug these into your calculator. Alright, start with -3. So you're going to have in your, it's from your equation up here, so wherever you have an x, you're going to plug in whatever your x is. So -3, parentheses, squared, plus 2, parentheses, -3, minus 1. Again, wherever you have an x, you're going to plug in whatever your x is going to be here. This one's going to be 2. Second, enter, which gives you the same equation again. So now wherever you have a -3, you're going to put -2. Enter, -1. Okay, you shouldn't have to do much here because -2 is going to be right in the middle. And then this is going to be the same, and then this is going to be the same, but just to make sure. Second, enter, So then where you have negative 2, you're going to put 0. So delete that negative and put a 0. Delete negative and put a 0. Enter, which is negative 1, which is what we thought. And then second enter, where we have a 0, you're going to put a 1. And then 2. Okay, which is exactly what we thought. And then that's what we're going to be graphing. So you graph the coordinates right there. Okay, so negative 1, negative 2 is going to be right in the middle. So negative 1, negative 2 is right in the middle. So now I'm just going to graph negative 3, 2. 1, 2, 3. Positive 2, 1, 2. Negative 2, negative 1. 1, 2. Negative 1. So I already graphed that one. So 0, negative 1. So 0, negative 1. And then 1, 2. And there's your parabola. Alright, I'll do one that's negative for you and then we'll move on. Alright, we're going to do number 3. Y equals negative x squared minus 8x minus 17. Again, find your axis of symmetry. What is your x? X equals negative b over 2a. You have to remember to write that over and over and over and over and over again. Opposite of negative 8 is positive 8 over 2 times negative 1. So 8 over 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, which gives you negative 4. So your x is going to be negative 4. Plug in negative 4 to your equation. Y equals negative. Now it's negative 4. Don't forget that negative on the outside, squared, minus 8. Negative 4. And then minus 17. Plug this into your calculator. So negative on the outside. Remember, it's not a minus, it's a negative. So negative. Parenthesis. Negative 4. Close your parentheses. Squared. Minus 8. Parenthesis. Negative 4. Close your parentheses. Minus 17 equals negative 1. Okay, so now this is going to be your x, y. All right. X, y. All right. So right in the middle, you're going to put negative 4, negative 1. And now we're going to go less than negative 4, less than negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, more than negative 4. Negative 3, negative 2. Plug in these. So we have negative. Oh, let's do second enter because I already had it on there. I'm just going to enter whatever is this one. I'm going to erase whatever is negative 4 and I'm going to put negative 6. Negative 6. Enter. Should get negative 5 for that one. Second, enter. Wherever you have a negative 6, you're going to hit negative 5 now. Enter negative 2. You already have negative 4, negative 1, so negative 3. So second, enter negative 3. Negative 3, enter, negative 2, which is the same thing. And we should expect that we're going to get negative 5 here, so negative, second enter, negative 2, negative 2, and then negative 5. Alright, and this is what we're going to be graphing. So I'm going to graph my vertex first, so negative 4, negative 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1. I'm going to go with the dot, negative 6, negative 5. And negative 5, negative 2. Negative 3, negative 2. And negative 2, negative 5. Awesome. Okay. All right, so in your notes, again, you have 4, 5, 6, and 7 that we have not done together, but hopefully you did them with Ms. Carlucci. If not, then you might want to go back and do that part. So just to go over the domain and range. Okay, so domain and range, again, is your x. So domain is your x, so your width, okay? How far is this going out? So if you can see, it doesn't just go straight down in a vertical line. It kind of goes out and down, out and down. So no matter what, it's going to take up. If it kept going on and on and forever, it's going to go on, and it's eventually going to go all the way out here and all the way out here. That means that your domain is going to be all real numbers here. Okay, so all real numbers. And if you have a quadratic and it doesn't stop, it's always going to be all real numbers. Okay, quadratics, domain, all real numbers. It's always going to be like that. Okay, your vertex, you should know your range. Your range for this one is going to be your y. So in this one, number 3 again, your y is going to be up here. So if you notice, it's going to stop here, and then it's going to go on forever here. Okay, so it's going to stop here, but go down forever here. So that means that your y is going to be less than or equal to, so less than or equal to, and then whatever number this is right here. Okay, and this number is going to be -1. Okay, so that's going to be that. -1. So if you notice that your y that's right here is also going to be what your range is. Okay, so y that we found out up here is also going to be what your range is. Okay, and it's going to be either greater than or less than. So greater than or equal to is going to be, greater than or equal to is going to be up, so it's going to be a positive. Less than or equal to is going to be a negative, so it's going to go down. I would highly suggest you do 4, 5, 6, 7 like I said. If you are having questions with domain and range still, please ask me during our meeting on Tuesday or Thursday, or even during office hours on Friday. All right, in a few minutes, the next video will be your note cards. Bye-bye.